The old guards of the Democratic Party are realizing in real time to throw in the towel. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin has been in Congress since I was born. And today, he finally said he's leaving.
The decision of whether to run for re-election has not been easy. I truly love the job of being United States Senator. But in my heart, I know it's time to pass the torch. We're also fortunate to have a strong Democratic bench ready to serve. We need them now more than ever.
Really? 42 years, 80 years old, still a tough decision? But that line, the strong Democratic bench, the bench is strong, mostly of far-left progressives, the AOC types. And Democrats around the country now realize they can quit or lose in a primary. New Hampshire Senator Jeanne Shaheen, Minnesota Senator Tina Smith, Michigan Senator Gary Peters have all said they won't run in 2026. Now, most political commentators will say this is proof the Democrats are in disarray. That is not necessarily true. Maybe it is proof they realize they have a problem and they are fixing it. Here's George Clooney.
He is. He's charismatic. I mean, I don't agree with him at all on anything, but, you know, he was famous from a television show. If you're a Democrat, we have to find some people to represent us better, who have a sense of humor and who have a sense of purpose.
With us now, Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar, joining us from opening night of the minor league baseball team in Laredo, Texas. Senator, Congressman, it is good to see you. Thank you. Is George Clooney, for as smug as he is, correct that the Democratic Party need to find people with a sense of humor and a sense of purpose?
Well, you know, humor always helps, certainly, but a sense of purpose, I think, is more important to make sure that they follow the words that LBJ said many years ago. When LBJ said, "I'm an American, I'm a Texan, and then I am a Democrat." And that's what's wrong with both Democrats and Republicans, that they tend to put party before their country. And I think that's one of the reasons we have this very divided government in Washington, D.C.
All right. Preach. Couldn't agree with you more. You, and I think deserve credit for this, were one of the very few Democrats, at times the only Democrat, who was willing to talk about the border, the problems at the border, the need to secure the border. One would think that post-Trump's election on immigration, so much discussion for the Democratic Party moving to the center or the need for it to move to the center, you would be a poster child, except that's not the case. The most vocal parts of the Democratic Party are now the far left. What's happening?
Well, you know, you're right. You know, some of us that live at the border, we don't just come visit. We've been talking about strong border security for so many years. And now, you know, there are Democrats who are talking about the border. But with all due respect, when you're talking about bringing somebody, and I know there was due process questions from that was in Maryland and now in Salvador, I don't know if that's the right issue that Democrats should be focusing right now. Strong border security, but we got to talk about the cost of living, what the tariffs are doing to the consumer, what's happened to the stock market. Those are the things that people want to talk about. In my district, I've traveled my district. It's rare that somebody brings up that case of that person from Maryland because they want to talk about other things.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We've been saying that for a while here. What do you think it is? Why are Democrats so focused on something, as you point out, so few people, real people, actually care about?
Well, you know, I know some of my colleagues, and they, you know, I don't want to speak for them. They went down there. You know, they trying to bring back the individual. Is that the topic we ought to be talking about? You know, the numbers have gone down here at the border. The people in my area are not talking much about the border because the numbers have gone down. But they
are you going to become a Republican, Congressman?
No. I started talking about the border before Republicans started talking about the border, and I always joke around with the Republicans, and I'm glad they're now understanding what we have been talking about the border. We want strong border security, but at the same time, you know, we got to treat the immigrants with respect and dignity.
I don't think anybody argues with respect and dignity. This is from Gavin Newsom. We just have to move beyond the guy or gal on the white horse that's coming to save the day. It's exhausting. We are as dumb as we want to be. Newsom on Democrats. I don't know what the party is. Newsom wants to be president, but he doesn't know what the Democratic Party is. Is that necessarily a bad thing, not knowing what the Democratic Party is, not for Gavin Newsom, but for the country right now?
Well, I mean, I think if somebody's looking at the White House and wants to run for president, I think they need to have a general idea what the party wants, what America wants, what middle of America, what the ordinary people want. You got to have some sort of idea. You got to be talking about the basic things that are important to human beings. You got to make sure you're safe. You got to make sure you got a job. Make sure you got an education. Make sure you have housing. The basic things that human beings want. So when you say,
you're saying something that's very similar to what Pete Buttigieg said. Now Mayor Pete turned Secretary Pete. Now concerned dad with a beard. Take a listen.
So I do think my party needs to do a much better job, especially with the kind of finger wagging that you're talking about. I think we are like very prone to that. And I've seen it happen on any side. I think a lot of people, you get this sense of like moral conviction, and you're so sure of it that you start to think it makes it okay to be an asshole.
I think he's right on that. You know, I see a lot of people that in the past you were talking about primaries. You know, as you know, the left spent in the last couple of primaries spent over $20 million to try to get somebody purified and get somebody to go far left. They didn't win. I'm still around. But I tell you something, they were telling me what was good for my district. The outsiders felt that they could speechify, preach to me about my district when they have never been here in my district before. And that's what we got to be careful as Democrats. We cannot speechify or we cannot preach about certain morals. We've got to know where the American people are at. Just be normal. Just be yourself. Talk to the American people. And I always say, what is the basic need of a human being? They want to have a roof. They want to have a job. They want to get an education. And they want to be safe. Those are the basic things that we want as human beings.
Yeah, and they want hope that life's going to be better for their kids than it was for them. Congressman, I've always admired you being willing to come on at my previous network and here. You've been saying the same things for 10 years, as long as we've been talking. Go back and enjoy the rest of the baseball game, sir.
Thank you so much. The only binational team in the country, Mexico, they play in Mexico, in the U.S. Very unique team.
I love it. It's great. Something brings us together. It's good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.